The most famous mountain in the Grand Theft Auto franchise is of course Mount Chiliad, which is full of mysteries, Easter eggs and myths. Starting all the way in 2004 with the release of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This natural entity became something way bigger than life itself. And now that Grand Theft Auto 6 is slowly cooking up to be the biggest, boldest and craziest GTA game in our history, Rockstar Games has the biggest challenge in the world to outdo themselves creating a mountain as iconic as Mount Chiliad. And you might be surprised to find out that they're actually doing it, because Mount Chiliad is going to have a big competitor, and it's Mount Kelligga. And not just Mount Kelligga, because there is a big misconception. Mount Kelligga is not one mountain. It's actually a whole national park with multiple mountain areas. It is described as a wild country with room to breathe on the state's northern fringes, a national landmark up against the state's northern border. And this is where our comparison journey starts, because we want to know which is the better natural area, Mount Chiliad or Mount Kelligga. And this is where the commonalities begin between the two, because Mount Chiliad as well as Mount Kelligga is up against the northern border of each designated map. Mount Chiliad is on the top of the San Andreas state in the GTA 5 map, and Mount Kelligga is described to be in that same position on the GTA 6 map. Now Mount Chiliad from GTA 5 is just one large mountain, but as you can see here by a Discord user inside the GTA 6 mapping project, you can see that they're speculating about 4 separate mountains intertwining within each other. But how big are these mountains compared to Mount Chiliad? Well, let's go ahead and find out by looking at these 4 mountains. So the first one is the postcard, which has a moving image of the Mount Kelligga National Park area where the camera is aiming kind of southwest in terms of its angle. And you can see that there is a big mountain as high as the clouds themselves. And we don't even know how high or how big this mountain really is because the clouds are in front of it. But if you look at the size of the airplane right there and the size of the people who are way closer to the camera, you can get an idea of how gigantic this particular mountain is. So let's compare the size of just the what I will call postcard mountain with Mount Chiliad. So as you can see, these are the two maps next to each other, and if you put Mount Chiliad over that postcard area, you can see that Mount Chiliad is a little bit bigger, but not that much bigger than the postcard mountain of Mount Kelligga. And you can also see that there is 3 whole mountains left to look at. In terms of size, maybe not the height, but the size itself, the length and the width of the area, Mount Chiliad is significantly smaller than all of Mount Kelligga National Park. And to emphasize that, let's go to Kelligga 02, which is the yellow area, and this screenshot right here with the helicopter. And you can see that again, the camera angle is aiming southeast, kind of the exact same position as the first screenshot. And you can see that this second mountain right here is just as big, if not bigger, than the postcard mountain, because you cannot even see the postcard mountain in this screenshot. And that is because this mountain, which I will call the 02 mountain because it's screenshot 02 of Mount Kelligga, it is occupying the space for us to see behind the mountain, which will be that other mountain of the postcard. Now if we go to the green area, which is Kelligga 06, you can see that this is more of a quote-unquote flat area, but we don't know how high we are in the mountains. It might be very low, it might be very high. We have no idea. But it is a very big area. And then last but not least, we have the orange area, which is Kelligga 04. And that is this screenshot right here, which you can see has a big mountain, and we don't know how high this mountain is going to be. But we do know that these are separate areas with separate mountains. So in terms of size, Mount Chiliad is significantly smaller than Mount Kelligga, which is crazy because Mount Chiliad is a very big area. It occupies a big portion of the Grand Theft Auto 5 map. And I think Rockstar knows this and knows that the area is not going to be boring in GTA 6 because Mount Kelligga offers prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails in the lush surrounding backwoods. Hillbilly mystics and paranoid radicals live far from the prying eyes of the government. So just like Mount Chiliad, there's going to be a lot of conspiracies, a lot of myths, a lot of Easter eggs, and also just a lot of beauty that you can gaze and look at in Mount Kelligga National Park. Now, of course, we do not know if the Mount Chiliad mystery is going to be more iconic than the Mount Kelligga mystery, because that's going to be the biggest competition ever. But from what they're stating about the mysteries in GTA 6, especially within this area, the probability of bigger mysteries is more likely. They are going all in to make sure that Mount Kelligga is just as, if not more, iconic than Mount Chiliad. Now, what are my excitements, opinions, and ideas of this new area? Well, the thing that I'm more excited about than anything are the mysteries and the stunts. I think Mount Chiliad is going to be full of stunt jumps that you can discover by just driving a motorcycle and just wheeling into everything possible. And I know hunting is also very cool, fishing is also very cool, but what if you're on a motorcycle with a hunting rifle and you do a wheelie, you bump into a tree log, you do a 360 on the motorcycle, and you snipe a deer right in his eye with a hunting rifle, and then you can skin it, make a little campfire, and eat the beautiful deer. Wouldn't that be the most badass thing for Jason to do? As well as obviously the Easter egg hunting. There's going to be a big Easter egg just like the Bigfoot in Mount Chiliad. So that is going to be super fun, whether we actually see that in the game or it's just a mystery that we need to solve and it takes a couple of years. And I'm also very curious about the subliminal messages and the trails Rockstar is going to put us on in terms of solving different mysteries and finding out what kind of mysteries there are in the first place. I think that's gonna be super cool. Let me know what part of Mount Kelligga you are most excited for. Thank you to SatLife420 for gifting these brand new memberships. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Hope you enjoy these videos, and thank you to everybody else as well for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.